3 days before my 18th birthday, I got news that I had lost somebody very, very close to me and that I was not expecting to lose. And that left me in a very dark place. I was freshly graduated, had no idea really what I wanted to do with my life, had no real direction, no real skills, no real passion, and now had tons of responsibility thrusted upon me as an 18-year-old who really didn't know anything. This video is a message to me 5 years ago when that happened. This video is also for anyone else who has felt that way. Stuck, lost, directionless in life, overwhelmed with the responsibility that they've been given, but with no way out. If that feels like you, then watch this video because I guarantee you, you will leave it with more clarity and direction than you have ever had before. Now I can confidently say that I am living my dream life, more or less. I don't need much else out of life. I have a happy business. I have a happy family. I am very, very blessed with a lot in my life now. I am not special. I worked for a large portion of what I have today, but I also got a little lucky. Everyone gets dealt a different hand of cards at the beginning of life. Some people get some really heavy odds stacked against them, but no matter where you come from, almost all of us have felt lost in some way. Today, I'm going to talk about that problem and how to solve it. Let's identify how you're feeling. You're probably craving success. You want to succeed and you want to make your situation better more than anything in the world. You're jumping from thing to thing, seeing no real progress, whether you're trying to get your money up, whether you're trying to get fit, whether you're trying to get a girl or a guy, whatever the case is, you're trying things left, right, and center, but nothing's sticking. You feel stuck. That stuck feeling is something that I was very familiar with when I was 18 years old. I was doing it backwards. I was trying to find my purpose first. I was trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with my life first. The truth is, you don't need to figure out what you need to do with your life right now. That's a really big question. If you try to force the answer out, you're probably not going to get it. It's not about trying to figure out what your passion is first. I needed to focus on what compounds, the habits that make your tomorrow easier. If you can build those successes, your purpose will reveal itself over time. So if you instead place your emphasis and energy on focusing on habits that compound, which I'm going to get to here in a second what those are, you are making every future day of your life just a little bit easier. Let's talk about this solution, the law of compounding. Every choice that you make, every decision you make, every single choice you make today will either work for you or against you in the future. You might feel stuck because you're compounding the wrong things. And that's not your fault. There's no blueprint to this. There's no universal, here's how you have your shit together. That's why I'm making this video. But the guys who do end up winning and gaining that success early are the guys who treat their life like a savings account. You want to make small deposits to make tomorrow a little easier. Small deposits every day to make it stack up over time. Compounding. So we're going to start this law of compounding lesson with a question. Did the decisions that you made today make your life easier tomorrow or harder? Here are the 4 things that compound that you want to learn as soon as possible. Your health, your money, your knowledge, and your relationships. When I first started really figuring out how the law of compounding worked, it was the summer of COVID. As a lot of you know, I lost 110 pounds during the summer of COVID. I was kind of coasting through community college and said, you know what, enough is enough. If I can't do it now, when am I going to be able to? And I invested a lot of time and energy into losing 100 pounds that summer. But what you probably don't know is that I also spent every other waking hour pretty much learning how money worked. I had never been taught how do finances work, how to budget your money, how to buy a house, how to invest in the stock market. I didn't have a whole lot of money to my name, but I wanted to make sure the money that I did have, I was using wisely. And then once COVID did end up kind of clearing up and I had all this knowledge and I had all this new perspective on life because I had lost all this weight, I went out and immediately worked as much as I could. 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time, working 50 or 60 hour weeks minimum. That's not very fun, but I learned a lot and I was able to save a ton of money, or at least what I thought was a ton of money back then. And while I was saving that money, I was taking the 1 day off I had per week and learning how to post on social media and learning how to make videos about weight loss and answering questions and building a community. And it kind of blossomed into this. And I was trying to teach myself skills. Okay, different job skills, got it. Different social media skills, cool. And when I was working at one of my jobs, it was a restaurant job, I had a manager there who was in her late 50s. She had a master's degree. She was working at a restaurant. Nothing wrong with that. She was a cool lady. But she said to me one day that she never actually found what she wanted to do with her life. She lives a happy life. She has property and horses and a little farm. She's chilling. But when I heard that, it kind of shook me to my core. I took a moment to really recognize how grateful I was that I did take the time to focus on what was compounding. I focused on my money, I focused on my health, and I focused on my skills. And it led to me learning how to run a business. I made tons of mistakes. I failed failed like 2 businesses before I started this one. But how I want you to think about this, the health, the money, the knowledge, and the relationships, think of it as the 4 big subjects in school. If you go get good grades on those first, you can go play sports and figure out all the other stuff you want to do in your free time afterwards. What you're trying to do is figure out how to do all this free time stuff without taking care of your grades. A little bit of a weird analogy, but it's the easiest way to think about it. Take care of your grades first, the stuff that compounds, and finding what you want to do after that will be much easier and much lower stress. So let's start with health and talk about how you can compound it. Your physical fitness is one of the easiest and simplest things to get right early, especially if you're young. This video is applying for anyone who feels stuck or lost, but if you're specifically young, you are going to have a much easier time ironing out your fitness early. And here's how you do that. First, understand food. Your food is literally your fuel. You want it to be as high quality as you can. Understand if you're trying to lose weight or get in shape and actually be a little less insecure about your body, understand the power of calories. Learn how a calorie deficit works. Understand that when it comes to fat loss, 90% of it comes from your nutrition. It doesn't take rocket science. You can honestly learn all of this information on social media and the internet in very short time. My TikTok literally has thousands of videos on this. I highly recommend you go check it out. Next, you need to understand training, strength training, athletic training. I don't care what it is, have some sort of training. What are you training for? Do you want to be a distance runner? Do you want to be super strong? Do you want to be a power lifter? Do you want to look good naked and just lift like a bodybuilder? That's what most people want to do. Whatever it is, find someone else who looks like that or has what you want to have and talk to them. But have something to train for, something that keeps you active. But the most important thing that needs to be is fun. You need to find something that you find fun or enjoyable. Fun fact, every single person that has lost a very significant amount of weight, 60 pounds or more, you can talk to any single one of them. All of them have one hobby that keeps them moving that they find enjoyable. For me, it's basketball. For other people, it's rock climbing, running, pickleball, tennis, you name it, I've seen it all. But they do it because it's fun, not because they have to grind their way through it. Find something that you enjoy. And then finally, I wanted to speak on the 4 foundations of fitness, and then we'll move on. Nutrition is how you burn the fat. Resistance training, the weights, is how you build muscle and get stronger. Cardio is how you strengthen your heart and your endurance and get in better shape. You use all 3 of them to become a stronger person mentally. I see way too many people trying to use cardio to burn the fat and they think that the food does. Trust me, those are the 4 foundations of fitness, and that is how it works. If you want more free game, go check out my TikTok. I've got a ton of freebies to help you out. Let's talk about money. Money might be what you're stressing out over most right now. We're going to talk about what to spend your money on, how to make more money, how to save your money, and how to risk your money. First, let's talk about making money. Obviously, we would all love to make more money, but I will say between saving and investing and everything else, the fastest path to grow your wealth early as a young person is to make more money. The sooner you do this and the more money you get, the younger age you are. Right now, guess what? You're the youngest you'll ever be. You're only going to get older from here. So no matter what age you're at, your money matters more now than it ever will in the future. Understand that simply raising your income is going to be the top priority. We'll talk more about how to use it here in a second. Secondly, saving your money. You might have heard of the 50-30-20 rule. 50% needs, 30% goes to general wants and expenses, 20% goes to saving. I think you should try to save way more than 20%. Try to save half your income if you can. Live below your means. I'm still doing this to this day, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I live in a very small apartment in a very small town in Michigan. I do not want to go out and start living lavishly. I want to continue to stay below my means. I can save more money that way. And this was the biggest thing that allowed me to stack my savings and my paychecks when I was working all of those jobs. And with rent and everything else, it may not be feasible to save 50% of your income. That's fine. Just get more aggressive with your saving strategies. How do you do that? You stop spending money on stupid shit. Sure, spending money on stuff you enjoy and having balance and having fun is absolutely in the budget, 100%. You only live life once. But here's a really good way to identify stupid shit. Is it borrowing happiness from tomorrow? If you are spending money on gambling, weed, alcohol, or vapes regularly, you're being stupid with your money and you need to stop. If you want to take your life seriously, that shit needs to stop immediately. If you feel like you have an addiction, go talk to someone. But if you're just doing it casually and you're doing it once a week, buying a 6-pack, buying a vape, or putting your money in DraftKings and just watching it all go away, stop doing that. Your life matters more than that. And people are making money off of you losing money. Don't be like that. Have fun in moderation. Enjoying some time with friends, that's totally okay. Experiences, absolutely. Travel, go for it. Budget for it. I'm just saying stop doing the stuff that isn't serving you. And here is where the real law of compounding kicks in: investing or risking your money. There are 4 places you can invest your money. There's stocks, there's crypto, there's real estate, and there's businesses. The power of compounding is most easily illustrated right here. If you look at the stock market and you look at one of those Roth IRA calculators, actually, if you've never seen a Roth IRA calculator, go Google it after this video, and you can enter in however many numbers you want, and it'll show you what your money and portfolio will be worth in 60 years when you retire, or whatever time frame you give it. But you can see how your money compounds more and more and more or more over time. This is where it gets so important to understand where to place your money and learning a little bit more about how the system works. You can work really hard, you can save your money really well, you can start saving your money and stop spending it on stupid stuff, but when it really starts to compound is when you start to invest it. I am not a financial advisor, but I would heavily recommend looking into a Roth IRA. This is a tax-free investing account. Every person should have one. Every person should be putting money into it any chance they get. There is actually a limit. The Roth IRA is so powerful that the US government has limited how much money you can put in there. You can only put in $7,000. There are other videos on it, but I'm telling you now, go look at a Roth IRA. If you need a platform to do it on, I think M1 Finance is a really good platform. I'm not sponsored or anything. It's the platform I use, and it's the one I think is the easiest to read for beginners. But that is in the stock market. That is in index funds. There are other places you can also invest your money. Real estate is great, but you need a lot of capital to do it. Businesses are cool, but if you don't know anything about business, is a really high likelihood that it goes absolutely into the crap. But if you're starting from square one and you need to stop being broke, don't invest in that stuff for now. Invest in skills that make you more money. Again, I am talking directly to you. I am talking directly to myself back at 18 in one of the lowest points in my life. This is stuff that I wish I knew. I wish somebody sat me down and told me all this stuff so I didn't have to spend 2.5 years trying to study it on the internet. Find a skill that will make you more money. Video editing, email copywriting, power washing, landscaping, sales. All of these are excellent skills that you can gain and learn how to do for free on the internet to make you more money. Again, back to raising your income. If you can raise your potential of income, you raise the speed of your compounding. Let's move on to education and knowledge. Money will come and go. Your fitness can go through seasons of good and bad. What never leaves you is your knowledge. Knowledge is infinite leverage. What do I mean by that? No one can take it away from you once you've learned it. Once you learn how to sell cars, you'll never forget how to sell cars. So if you're ever in a pinch, you can always go back and be a car salesman and put food on the table. A really good example for this for me is I learned how to bartend. I'm an extrovert. I know how to talk to people. So I learned how to bartend and I got good at bartending. So now I know if everything goes to crap and this entire business operation somehow falls out from underneath me, I can go bartend and put food on the table. Why? Because I have the knowledge to do so. I have the skill set now. I figured out how to do it, and now it's stored in the back as a safety net for me. That's what I mean when I say knowledge has infinite leverage. Now, where do you start on compounding your knowledge? First things first, learn your strengths and learn your weaknesses. What are you good at naturally? What did you like to do? Find one of your strengths and lean into it. For me, like I said before, I'm a talker. I'm a very extroverted person. I like learning about people. If I'm good at talking to people, then I might be good at sales. So maybe I can lean into that. Then I can fix up some of the weaknesses around me while I'm learning sales. I'll learn about the stuff that I'm not good at. For me, it was I sucked at storytelling. I didn't know how to tell a continuous story, which is very important in sales, by the way. But those are skills I can learn, and I can use those new skills that I learn to help play further into my strengths. It's like if you're a really fast football player, but you have terrible hands and you can't catch a football. If you want to become a really good receiver who makes a lot of money in the NFL, you can't just be fast. You have to run good routes, you have to have good hands, you have to have good blocking. If your strong suit and your strength is your speed, then train up your weaknesses in your hands or your route running. That is what I mean by this. It's another example. Now, let's talk about where can you find these strengths? How can you expand on this knowledge? Nowadays, there's really 4 sources of key, memorable information. The first one is books. Now, obviously, there's been books written since the dawn of time. There's about 1 billion out there. You can choose a lot of them, but what I have found has been most effective is using books to learn soft skills. Soft skills being stuff like communication, empathy, stress management, persuasion, stuff like that. Really easy to digest when you read books on them. You can also learn hard skills from them, but another way to learn hard skills is through courses or mentorships. This is stuff that you find online. This is where you find mentors and gurus, and the space is just absolutely disgusting, and it's filled with a ton of snake oil salesmen, so you have to be careful. But finding the right mentor can literally change your life. Having a course or a program that you can follow to teach you the hard skills that you need to learn to succeed, I believe is the future of education. But you have to check the credibility, and we'll talk about how to do that in just a second. 3 is school. College, trade school, tech school, whatever it might be. School is still a very viable option if it's done right, despite what everyone else is telling you. If you're in college, be intentional about where you're at. You will not be there forever. Take advantage of all the resources, all of the assets, and all the people that you're around. Do not coast through college. You are wasting your time and your money. You can still go to school without knowing exactly what you want to do in your life, but still take advantage of it. And then the final way you can learn is the school of hard knocks, the school of life, through trial and error. This is what compounded my skill set the most, because failing at something will immediately teach you the lesson you need to learn. Have an idea, create it, test it out, watch it fail, get better the next time. That's how most businesses are built. Every business's first product is absolutely terrible, and they refine it, they test it, they watch it fail, they test it again, and then they start seeing some success. If you're on social media, your first social media post was probably pretty crappy, but you learned better with time. So if you're looking to gain more knowledge, the school of hard knocks, actual school, books, or courses or mentors. Those are the 4 ways to gain more knowledge on a regular basis. I didn't make any money, I didn't lose any weight, and I didn't gain any wisdom until I had the knowledge to do so. Everything is learnable and figure outable. And if you're not sure if somebody is a credible source of information, or if you're not sure if this is something that you should trust, here's one very easy tactic that you can use to see if someone's legit or not. Have they done what you want to do? And have they helped other people do the exact same thing? This is exactly why people come to me for weight loss. I've lost 110 pounds. Therefore, a lot of people that come to me say, hey, I've seen you lose all that weight, and I've seen you help hundreds of other people. I would like help. That is how my business has been running. So when you are looking for more knowledge, find whatever your source might be, see who's going to be teaching it to you. Have they done what you want to do, and have they helped other people do the same? If the answer to either of those questions is no, find someone else. And the last one is relationships. I'm not going to talk about this one very long, but it's still incredibly important. Knowing the right people makes every single other habit exponentially easier. Finding someone who knows their stuff that you can directly learn from makes every process that compounds even faster. Having somebody you know that's super in shape and knows their stuff around food, talk to them more. If you know somebody that knows a skill that you want, if you know somebody that's killer at sales and you want to learn sales, listen to them, talk to them, figure out how to get good at sales. If you know someone that invests their money very, very well, ask them questions. Your relationships will compound, especially once you learn how to reciprocate that. Be kind first, give first. If you are constantly going around and helping other people, they will want to help you in return. You are going to be mind blown by the amount of people that are willing to help you if you just stick your neck out there and offer to be kind to them or help them or support them. They will reciprocate it if they're worth a damn. And if they do reciprocate it, that shows that that's a good relationship to hang on to. But man, I gotta be honest, we've talked about a lot today. So I'm going to summarize this for you in a way that's very easy to understand. There are 4 things that compound: your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your knowledge. We already talked about relationships. So for your health, understand the 4 foundations of health and what each piece of fitness does. Make it fun so it's repeatable. Take care of your health once, understand how to make it fun, and then use that as a cheat code for life. Number 2 is money. Stop spending money on stupid shit, save aggressively, and invest into skills that compound. Then you can start buying assets after that. Knowledge. Lean into a strength, stack hard skills, stack soft skills, and use your knowledge as leverage to gain more knowledge. This is everything that I wish someone sat down and taught me when I was at my lowest, when I had absolutely no direction and no knowledge on how the world really worked. But you need to understand something. It is never, never too late to start. There are athletes who don't go pro until they're 30. There are business owners who fail 19 times and succeed on their 20th. There are people who do not get married until their late 30s, 40s, or 50s. It's never too late to start. And you do not have to know what you want to do yet. You just have to start doing what compounds. Keep it simple, big fella.